Years ago, I used to post on blade forums quite a bit, or at least look on it. Um, and the axe and tool section, one of the my favorite threads that I would see is titled "It Followed Me Home," and it was basically just a forum or post that people would just show kind of the new things that they picked up, whether it was flea market or eBay or wherever, just kind of the new additions to their collections. It's kind of one of the things I don't really see on YouTube as much. I see it a little bit with kind of like a tool haul or something like that, but a little more specific of like the kind of it followed me home. So in the spirit of that, maybe we'll call it like a mail call or something like that. Um, but just kind of show you some of the newer things that have found their way into the collection. Um, Last project was the eBay cruiser. That's all wrapped up, done. The listing is currently live on eBay, so if you're curious, go check out the last video for that series. The listing link is in the description. It just went up tonight, just a couple hours ago, so go check that out if you're interested. But as far as maybe one of the next projects that goes, these are some things that I picked up recently. So first one is this guy right here. So it's a Plum. You might be able to tell from the kind of the remnants of the paint on the handle. It's a Plum boy's axe. But unfortunately, the handle is pretty toast with kind of the overstrike damage and whatnot here. So I don't really think that's salvageable, especially with it being a Permabond era handle. So that'll probably be coming off, but it is cool that you can see that it still has the stamping on it. So it's the 662, which is the same designation as one of the other boys' axes that I have. Kind of cool that it still has the partial foil label on it. Really no pitting at all. A lot of the original paint. Stamps nice and clean, so that's really cool. Pulls in really good condition. Looks like someone probably didn't use it too much and got some damage with the overstrike there, and then kind of retired it. Came with this kind of neat leather sheath. I really haven't had too many axes that came with full sheaths like this. I kind of like this design. I might kind of copy it for some of the ones that I might make for myself. So kind of riveted in the back here, so it's two parts, which doesn't really take up too much leather. But yeah, it's not welted. If you're not familiar with what welted is, it's a third layer that's in the center between like the two others, front and back of the sheath, and it's usually glued in. And what that does is it helps prevent the blade or the bit, whatever it is, knife sheath, axe sheath, whatever it is, from kind of cutting the stitching, kind of like you see there. So it's not welted, but it is kind of a neat sheath either way. So, Los Angeles, California. Top grain cowhide. Yeah, so excited about that one. Got what I think was a really good deal on it, so couldn't pass it up. Won an auction and last minute threw out a low bid, and it ended up being the highest bid, so can't argue with that. And I picked up another Collins Connecticut pattern. This one's not in quite as good a condition as the last one that I had or picked up, but it looks, I haven't touched this one, the new one, at all yet, so I think it will still clean up good. So this might be a really good candidate for another eBay build, maybe, or just clean it up, hang it, and sell it. Doesn't necessarily need to be the whole build series. Maybe condense it into one video too. Yeah, because this one I'll probably keep in my collection, just because it's so nice and clean. Maybe this one will be one that I end up flipping or selling or trading or something like that. So Then I got a Gamble's Artisan. Not sure as you can see that. So it's got some of the paint. I'm not sure if the blue or yellow paint was original to it, but it's kind of cool. And the pole's a little bit beat up, but the stamp itself looks really pretty clean. It's got some, hammering at the top of the eye where someone at some point didn't know how to hang it and was trying to hammer it onto a handle clearly. But I think that'll clean up fine. When I bought this one on eBay, again, I got a pretty good deal for it. But I also was under the impression that it was a full size axe. But this is a boy's axe size, so a little disappointed with that because I do already have another Gamble's. Here, grab it here. I do already have another Gamble's. This one's a Gamble's Expert. It's a standard quality. This one's a Gamble's Artisan Super Quality. So not exactly the same stamp, but kind of in the same family. So yeah, I already had one of these, so I was hoping for a full size Gamble's, but still very cool nonetheless, and it was a good deal, so you can't argue with that. That was another one I found. Then came across this one too. It's a Plum Victory Connecticut pattern. So this one, it does not look like there's a weight stamp above the Plum box, but I think it's probably about a 3.5 pound head. It was about the same as some of my other ones. There's the last. There's the last one I did the kind of cleanup video on. I'm going to compare them. A little bit more damage on the pole, I'd say, but not too much. That is one of the nice things about the Plums too, is like because they have the stamp kind of further onto the bit, cleaning up the pole and dressing it up nicely doesn't impact any of the stamps like you would have on like a Collins or a like a True Temper where they've got the stamps at the top. So that is one of the nice things. Yeah, got the Plum Victory. So that'll be a nice one too. Looks like there's a lot of life left in the bit. Pitting's really not too bad. Again, you've got a little bit of damage at the top here, top of the eye, where someone hammered on it. But most of the damage is in the pole here. I do think that would clean up pretty well. And then lastly, I picked up a little perfect handle screwdriver. My wife and I were at a little indoor flea market and I came across this for $5 or $6 and never seen one this small. So I didn't see anything else that caught my eye, so I figured I'd pick it up so the trip wasn't a complete waste. Looks like the tip is bent. Someone's probably prying out or something, but I should be able to straighten that out and put new scales on it. These ones look pretty spent. So kind of a crack that runs along there. So yeah, it'll be a nice little fun little project. Yeah, so if you guys kind of like seeing this video series idea of kind of like what I get and I'll call it like a mail call or maybe just keep the naming the same as the old thread from Blade Forums as it followed me home. Yeah, if you guys enjoy this kind of video, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the axes, and yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if one of these is one that you'd like to see a future project video out of.